Welcome to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the ages, uncovering the secrets of our past and illuminating the present. Today, we find ourselves on the shores of the New World, in the midst of one of history's most enduring enigmas, the lost colony of Roanoke. This tantalizing tale of mystery and disappearance has captivated imaginations for centuries, and as we delve into its depths, you'll discover a story woven from threads of ambition, curiosity, and the unyielding human spirit. In the late 16th century, as the English began to set their sights on the Americas, a sense of wonder and possibility filled the air. The New World, with its vast expanses of untamed land and promise of riches, beckoned to adventurers and settlers alike. Among these early pioneers was Sir Walter Raleigh, a man of considerable wealth, influence, and vision, who would play a pivotal role in shaping the course of English colonization in North America. Raleigh's fascination with the New World was not merely driven by a desire for wealth or territorial expansion. He was also deeply intrigued by the prospect of discovering new trade routes and establishing a foothold for English interests in the region. In 1584, Raleigh sent an expedition to explore the eastern coast of North America, led by Philip Amatus and Arthur Barlow. This initial foray into the New World resulted in the establishment of friendly relations with the indigenous Algonquian-speaking peoples of the Outer Banks, particularly with the Croatan tribe. The success of this early expedition emboldened Raleigh to pursue more ambitious endeavors. He envisioned a permanent English settlement in the New World, one that would serve as a base for further exploration, trade, and the spread of English influence. To realize this vision, Raleigh turned to a man named John White, an artist and cartographer who had accompanied Amadas and Barlow on their initial voyage. White's talents as a draftsman and his experience in the New World made him an ideal candidate to lead a new expedition aimed at establishing the first permanent English settlement in North America. In 1585, John White set sail for the New World once more, this time with a group of would-be settlers. However, their arrival in the New World was not without its challenges. The expedition was initially intended for the Chesapeake Bay area, but due to a combination of unfavorable weather conditions and the presence of Spanish privateers, they found themselves at Roanoke Island, off the coast of present-day North Carolina. Here, they established a fort and began the process of building their new home, naming it the City of Raleigh. The early days of the settlement were marked by both promise and hardship. The settlers struggled to adapt to their new environment, facing difficulties in finding sufficient food and navigating the complexities of relations with the native populations. Meanwhile, John White worked tirelessly to ensure the success of the colony, recognizing that its survival depended on a delicate balance between the needs of the settlers and the goodwill of their indigenous neighbors. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the settlers at Roanoke Island continued to face numerous challenges. The harsh winter of 1585–86 took its toll on the colony, with food shortages and disease becoming increasingly prevalent. Despite these difficulties, John White remained resolute in his determination to ensure the colony's survival. He recognized that the key to their success lay in maintaining good relations with the native populations, and he worked tirelessly to foster a sense of cooperation and mutual understanding. In the spring of 1586, White set sail for England, leaving the colony in the care of his daughter, Eleanor Dare, and her husband, Ananias. The plan was for White to return with fresh supplies and additional settlers, but his departure would prove to be a pivotal moment in the history of the lost colony. As he sailed across the Atlantic, White could not have known that his journey would be delayed by the impending war between England and Spain, or that his eventual return would be met with a silence that would haunt him for the rest of his days. The summer of 1586 was marked by a series of tense encounters between the English settlers and the native populations. The Algonquian-speaking peoples, who had initially welcomed the English with open arms, began to grow increasingly wary of their presence. The settlers, struggling to find sufficient food and facing numerous challenges in their daily lives, found themselves at odds with the very people they had hoped to befriend. It was during this period that the colony's governor, John White's friend and ally, died under mysterious circumstances, leaving a power vacuum that would further destabilize the already fragile settlement. As the months passed, the situation at Roanoke Island continued to deteriorate. The settlers, facing starvation and disease, became increasingly desperate. In the autumn of 1587, a group of English ships arrived at the colony, but instead of bringing much-needed supplies, they found that the settlers had disappeared. The only clue left behind was a cryptic message carved into a tree, Croatoa. This enigmatic word would become synonymous with the mystery of the lost colony, a haunting reminder of the transience and fragility of human endeavor. The years that followed would be marked by numerous attempts to uncover the fate of the Roanoke settlers. In 1590, John White finally returned to the colony, only to find that it had vanished into thin air. The fort was gone, the houses were destroyed, and there was no sign of his daughter or grandchild. The word Croatoan seemed to mock him, a tantalizing clue that offered no clear answers. As he stood on the deserted island, White could not have known that the mystery of the lost colony would endure for centuries, a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity and the unyielding allure of the unknown. As John White stood on the deserted island, the word Croatoan seemed to echo through the emptiness, a haunting reminder of the transience and fragility of human endeavor. The years that followed would be marked by numerous attempts to uncover the fate of the Roanoke settlers, but none would yield definitive answers. The Jamestown settlers would encounter Native American tribes who claimed to have encountered the Roanoke colonists, and some even reported seeing European-style clothing and hearing tales of a group of Englishmen living among them. One such account came from William Strachey, a secretary of the Virginia Company, who wrote that the Pamunkey tribe had taken in the Roanoke settlers, incorporating them into their own community. According to Strachey, the colonists had been absorbed into the Native American way of life, with some even marrying into the local tribes. This theory would gain traction over time, and many historians would come to believe that the lost colony had indeed been assimilated into the Native American population. As the centuries passed, the legend of the lost colony would endure, captivating the imagination of generations. In 1837, a stone was discovered on Roanoke Island, bearing an inscription that seemed to hint at the colonists' fate. While the authenticity of the Dare Stone has been disputed, it remains one of the most enduring and intriguing artifacts associated with the lost colony. Today, the lost colony of Roanoke is remembered as a poignant reminder of the risks and uncertainties faced by early European colonizers in the New World. The colony's disappearance has become an integral part of American folklore, symbolizing the mysterious and often tragic nature of human exploration and settlement. The legacy of the lost colony can be seen in the countless works of literature, art, and film that it has inspired. The colony's place in history is now firmly established, serving as a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity and the unyielding allure of the unknown. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that, to understand the present, we must first understand the past.